Days of Our Lives Pro 16, 2025. A birthday bombshell and a life-or-death mystery shake Salem to its core. Salem is once again on the brink of chaos as the week of May 12 to 16, 2025 delivers a whirlwind of drama, deception, and desperate decisions. From a forbidden medical heist to a birthday celebration that turns into an emotional battleground, the residents of this fateful town are pushed to the edge and beyond. Fans, especially those who've stood by these characters for decades, should brace themselves for a roller coaster of heartfelt moments, shocking revelations, and impossible choices. Beau's life hangs in the balance, and not everyone wants him saved. The week begins with rising tension as Beau's fate becomes a race against time. While he remains unconscious, lying in the shadows between life and death, his loved ones grow more frantic by the hour. On Thursday, the situation escalates when Sean and Steve take matters into their own hands. With no time left for protocol or red tape, they embark on a dangerous mission, breaking into a secure medical facility to steal the only medicine that might save Beau's life. But what Sean and Steve don't know is that danger is lurking in the form of betrayal. Dr. Russell, once trusted, is revealed to be secretly aligned with EJ, who has been manipulating events from behind the scenes for weeks. Why would EJ want Beau to remain comatose? That's the burning question, and by the end of the week, Sean, Steve, and Kayla are left with a disturbing mystery to unravel. What was in the stolen medicine? Why was Dr. Russell sabotaging Beau's recovery? And how deep does EJ's involvement truly go? Salem's moral compass is spinning as the trio is forced to confront not only the legal consequences of their actions, but the implications of their discoveries. The Kiriaki's legacy under fire. Philip's plan shocks the family elsewhere in Salem. Philip steps back into the spotlight, and not in a flattering way. After dropping the bombshell that he forged Victor's letter, his family's trust is in tatters. But rather than retreat into the background, Philip leans into his rebellion. On Tuesday, he sets a new plan into motion, one that could very well shake the foundation of Titan Industries. Determined to reclaim the family empire, Philip begins maneuvering through corporate channels and emotional landmines. Is this about restoring Victor's legacy, or rewriting it for his own benefit? His aggressive approach may win him a few allies, but it's clear that not everyone is on board. The consequences of Philip's actions threaten to drag the entire Kiriaki's clan into scandal and internal war. Gabby and Alex's lavish date night turns into a collision course midweek. Romance tries to bloom in the most unlikely of places. Gabby and Alex decide to blow off some steam and a small fortune with a $15,000 date night. On the surface, it's a dazzling evening of champagne, luxury, and attempted distraction from their respective crises. But underneath the glitz, emotions are simmering. Alex is visibly distracted, haunted by news regarding Stephanie. Their unresolved feelings bubble up during dinner, leaving Alex struggling to be present with Gabby. Meanwhile, Gabby herself is not exactly at peace. She's still processing her alleged involvement in EJ's shooting, an accusation that could cost her everything. Their glamorous night ends with more questions than answers. Are they using each other to escape reality, or is there something real beneath the surface? A birthday turns bittersweet. Sophia's coming of age and defiance. As the weekend approaches, the spotlight turns to a young woman whose life is about to change forever. Sophia celebrates her 18th birthday, a milestone that should be filled with joy, laughter, and hope. But for Sophia, this birthday marks more than just becoming an adult. It represents a final stand. Despite being bedridden, Sophia has made up her mind. She's tired of being told what to do, tired of feeling powerless. And with her newfound legal independence, she makes a bold decision to give up her baby for adoption. This isn't a whim, it's something she's been contemplating for months. And now, with the law finally on her side, she's ready to act. But what should have been a quiet act of courage turns explosive. When Amy discovers Sophia's plan, she reacts with rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. The emotional clash between mother and daughter threatens to tear their fragile relationship apart. Sophia is no longer a child and she refuses to be silenced. But Amy, believing she knows best, is willing to go to extreme lengths to stop the adoption. The birthday party devolves into a war of words, accusations, and shattered expectations. In the background, Tate struggles to support Sophia while also navigating his own feelings of helplessness. He wants to stand by her, but he's torn between loyalty to her and a growing dread that everything is spiraling out of control. Days of Our Lives, Friday, May 9th, 2025. Javi becomes a hero, Chanel breaks down, and Stephanie's secret sparks fire. Salem was filled with heart-pounding moments, emotional revelations, and life-changing decisions on today's episode of Days of Our Lives, Friday, May 9th, 2025. In a single day, lives were saved, secrets were exposed, and passions ignited. As longtime viewers know, nothing stays calm for long in this town, and today proved that once again. From a hospital rescue to a budding romance rekindled by raw emotions, every scene held weight, especially for those who followed these characters through their ups and downs for decades. Let's break it all down. Javi saves Sarah's life. Just in time, the day took a sharp turn into high-stakes territory as Javi stepped up in a major way. When Sarah's life was unexpectedly endangered, it wasn't a doctor or a family member who rushed to her aid. It was Javi. In a moment of sheer instinct and bravery, he became the unexpected hero. Details surrounding the emergency are still coming together, but it's clear that Sarah found herself in serious trouble that might have been fatal if not for Javi's quick thinking. Whether it was a medical emergency, an accident, or something more sinister, we can be sure of one thing: without Javi's intervention, the outcome would have been far more tragic. This heroic act may change the way Sarah and everyone else in Salem sees him. Javi, who has often been misunderstood or dismissed, finally had a chance to prove his worth. And in doing so, he's not just saved a life, he may have changed the trajectory of his own. Chanel's mistake sends her running into Johnny's arms. Meanwhile, emotional chaos played out on a far more intimate scale at the apartment where Chanel found herself unraveling. Overwhelmed by a mistake that's still being kept under wraps, she could no longer hold it together. And as her world spun out of control, there was only one person she turned to: Johnny. Johnny sat beside her on the couch, offering more than just a shoulder to cry on. He was her anchor in a storm, holding her tightly as she collapsed into sobs. For viewers who've watched their on-again, off-again relationship over the years, the moment felt like a return to something deeply familiar and deeply unresolved. Chanel's vulnerability peeled back all her defenses. Whatever she's done, it's weighing heavily on her heart. But in that moment, it didn't matter what mistake she made. What mattered was the comfort she found in Johnny's arms. The way he held her, without judgment, spoke volumes. And for Johnny, it was clear, his feelings haven't faded. In fact, the connection between them might be stronger now than ever. As she leaned into him, tears falling, the silence between them said what words could not: they still care. Maybe more than either is ready to admit. Stephanie's secret passion and Alex's fiery praise. In a more lighthearted but no less important part of today's episode, Stephanie and Alex shared a surprisingly vulnerable morning. As Stephanie awoke, she found Alex in bed with something unexpected: her manuscript. Yes, the one she never meant anyone to read. It turns out that Stephanie has been writing erotica, a genre she clearly enjoys crafting, even if she's hesitant to admit it publicly. Alex, to her surprise, was completely captivated. Not only did he find the work arousing, but he was genuinely impressed with her storytelling talent. His admiration wasn't just physical, it was intellectual. He insisted that her writing had heart, power, and yes, commercial potential. Alex, being Alex, had an idea. Titan should publish her novel. Stephanie was mortified at first, rejecting the idea out of hand. "I don't want people knowing I write smutty nonsense," she said, blushing. But Alex didn't back down. He suggested she use a pen name, a secret identity, to protect her real one. That idea made her pause. Maybe, just maybe, there was something to it. As their conversation deepened, so did their connection. The playful banter, the honest compliments, and the electric undercurrent of desire all built to a crescendo. Alex leaned in, praising her again. "Sex is hot," he said, grinning. And just like that, the tension between them ignited, leading to a passionate encounter that left no doubts about their chemistry. Hospital buyout drama adds fuel to the fire. Later, once the lovers had composed themselves, Alex turned his attention back to business and the drama surrounding the hospital buyout. He started going through messages from Xander, and it became clear that things were heating up on the corporate front as well. Stephanie, still glowing from their romantic interlude, was surprised to hear about EJ's involvement in the hospital deal. Even more surprising was the fact that Kayla had rejected EJ's offer. Stephanie, clearly protective of her mother, promised to talk to Kayla and see what was really going on behind the scenes. This development could lead to yet another power play, especially with Titan now involved. With EJ, Xander, and now Alex in the mix, the hospital isn't just a medical facility. It's the new battleground in Salem's ever-shifting chessboard of alliances and ambitions. Final thoughts for Friday's episode. Today's episode of Days of Our Lives was rich with layered storytelling that longtime fans could truly appreciate. It gave us a heroic save, a raw emotional breakdown, a rediscovered passion, and an emerging corporate war, all in a single day. Javi proved his worth in ways no one expected. Chanel and Johnny's emotional intimacy rekindled old sparks. Stephanie's writing, once a private passion, opened the door to new possibilities professionally and romantically. And Alex, ever the confident schemer, balanced admiration and ambition in a way only he can. As we head into the weekend, viewers are left with many questions. Will Sarah recover fully? What secret is Chanel hiding? Will Stephanie go public or private with her steamy writing? And just how far will EJ and Alex go in this hospital bidding war? No matter what happens next, one thing is certain: Salem is never short on drama. And the heartbeats of longtime fans will continue to race with every twist.